Hello, everybody, and welcome again to this very special interview. And we have with us Dr. Miltos Balidis from Greece. He is a consultant ophthalmologist and a chief co-founder of the International Keratoconus Society. So welcome, Miltos, with us today. And we are so happy to have you with us in the ESO 2024.
I'm also very happy and very pleased to be here in this fantastic environment and enjoy this fantastic meeting.
Thank you very much. So as a chief co-founder of the International Keratoconus Society, we see that there was an activity today, an IKS session related to the International Keratoconus Society in collaboration with the ESO 2024. So would you please tell us more about this session and this collaboration?
I'm also very happy and proud for this organization of this society, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it than the Middle East, because simply this is where you have the prevalence of keratoconus in a much higher way than the other areas in the world. It's Middle East, Southern Europe, and South America. So I couldn't think of a better place to have such an interesting meeting than the Emirates.
That's great. So in this session, there were experts in the keratoconus disease, and there was very hot discussions about the latest technologies and latest diagnostics and types of treatments. So where we are now in this treatment, in the treatment of this disease?
I think now we have all the weapons in our hands for more than 15 years, and we know the strong parts and the weak parts of all these technologies and treatments that you use. Now we're beginning to question the limits of all these technologies. We refine the treatments in a better way. We have new treatments, and also we have treatments coming up soon in different areas, like the customized cross-linking or even cross-linking with different lasers. So we're actually living a very interesting time. But we have to analyze them in a proper way, and we have to give guidelines to all the doctors so that we will have a net of important papers and not so important papers. And in that aspect, I think artificial intelligence will also be very handful and very, very helpful for.
That's fantastic. Actually, you highlighted a very important point, that the disease is very prevalent in this area of the world, and in addition in Greece as well, in the Mediterranean areas altogether. So I think a screening for keratoconus and early detection for this disease is very, very important. So do you think artificial intelligence will have a role as well in early detection, and maybe development of the indices in the diagnostic devices that we have nowadays?
Artificial intelligence is opening a whole new world in front of our eyes. We certainly see very few capabilities. We see very few things that we will use pretty much, and we're using them pretty much even in our technologies, like in Shyflunk and in other technologies that we have all these formulas that we use. But in the future, we need to know more about our enemy, and our enemy is keratoconus. And we need to have a very good way of screening and getting the best data that we use. And then we will use with this data the guidelines for all the doctors how to perform a best practice. And I think artificial intelligence can play an important role. The other thing is also to try to find out the exact prevalence of keratoconus in each country. And this is where we have to play an important role together with the government of the countries to actually run studies about that. So these are very important things to do.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually establishing guidelines is very important, because for best practice, best medical practice and good medical practice, especially for the younger generation, And in addition, that will convince the insurance companies regarding the indications and the importance of going for some types of treatments. Because, you know, insurance companies, if they don't have guidelines, sometimes they reject coverage of some types of treatments. And this will be on the account of the patient who should pay, and some types of treatment may be very expensive. So how do you elaborate on this point?
I think you just came into the heart of the problem, because government and insurance should incorporate some basic treatments for keratoconus. But how can you convince them if you're reading the textbooks of a 40 or 50 years old, where the prevalence is probably 100th of the 10th less than what we are expecting and what we see now? And also, the problem is worse in the lowest economical society. So you can understand that this is where we have to have our real enemy. And this is where government should help us with insurance.
So your advice is to conduct national, let's say, programs for establishment of guidelines and screening for keratoconus, in addition to collaboration internationally in order to make something global.
This is one of our aims. Yes, we can do our congresses. Yes, we're going to discuss with ophthalmologists and improve, even make better our results and have better techniques. But also, we have to think about the basis, and we have to think about the prevalence. And that is something that we should also incorporate in our aims. And, you know, if we can have a form of a way to conduct a study of prevalence and then use it in different countries, then we will have a better result and a stronger weapon in our hands.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. We know as well that there will be the first World Keratoconus Congress that will be conducted here in the UAE as well in April. So would you please tell us more about this Congress?
As I told you, I couldn't believe that we could do it in anywhere else in the world rather than in the EU. And I'm very happy that also the official body, the ESO, is helping and embracing this idea. I think it's going to be a fantastic Congress, because we will gather together and we will spread the message. The message is that more doctors should be aware of the new treatments and how they can incorporate the treatments, how they can make them better, how they can avoid mistakes from these treatments. And these are very important things that we have to give to the local ophthalmologists, not only in the Emirates, but also in the whole region. And we will do that again, and again, every year in different countries. We have to spread the word.
Mm-hmm. That's great, and thank you very much, Dr. Balidis, for being with us today. And we hope that you will enjoy the rest of the meeting.
I'm sure I will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you for everybody who is following us now and watching this interview, and have a great evening ahead.